So continuing on with our set notations and vocabulary. So the next piece in our notes is talking about subsets. And subsets we'll definitely talk about more in the next lesson and put it into practice. But essentially a subset is a set of elements that are contained in a different set. And a subset symbol you'll see is kind of like a little C to the side. And so with finite math and with these sets, you'll see a lot of different symbols that we'll just talk about in a second. So the U, the N, and this is subset is the C. So let's look at the first examples. Number 1 and 2 is a subset of 1, 2, 3, and 4. So it's included, but it's only pulled out kind of like just a little bit. So if each element of a set of A is also an element of set of B, we say that A is a subset of B. So essentially, if we look at, okay, let's take the whole class of finite math. So everyone, the universal is everyone in finite math. But the subset, we're going to look at females. So everyone is in finite math, but a subset of that could be females, and then another subset could be males. So they're included in everything, but just a few numbers in this category. And so some meaning, so A is a subset of B. So then the equal, the next one, A and B have exactly the same elements. So the same members, the same numbers. And then the subset symbol for the next one with the line through, meaning that A is not a subset. And then the last example is A is not equal to B, so they do not have exactly the same. So if we look at an example of that, so let's name all the subsets. So if we have set A, and A includes 1, 2, 3. And the question is, name all the subsets. So I would look at a 2-member subset. So 2 members, so maybe that's 1 and 2. And again, make sure you put your braces. 2 and 3, and then 1 and 3. So that's all my 2-member subsets. Then I would list my 1-member subsets. And so that's 1, 2, and 3. Now also, a lot of students' simple mistake is they forget the empty subset. That's also one. So I would recommend listing your empty subset first as the given, and then maybe count up 1-member, 2-member, if that helps, so you don't forget that empty subset. So I just wanted to kind of list all the summary vocabulary of sets. You do not have to memorize it, but use it as a reference for when you're doing My Math Lab or when we're doing our notes. You can kind of look back and look at that. In here, we won't cover any of these, but we'll cover the rest of them kind of in more detail. And then I wanted to pull some common numerical sets. So looking at the bottom chart, so natural numbers is represented by that capital N that we saw in the last video. And that's our counting numbers. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Whole numbers is our counting numbers, but includes 0. So 0 is included. And then the right side, integers. Integers means it could include our negative numbers, 0, or positive numbers. And a rational number, that's either a fraction or a decimal. So I just wanted to cover a little bit vocab and you to have this as a reference. So as I mentioned in the beginning of this video, we're going to look at the union, intersection, and complement. So what does that mean? So the union is represented by U. or. They might list or. So that means all of the elements together. You're going to combine A and B. You're going to list all of them together. Now, if they both have the same number, then we only list it once. You never list double numbers in your set. So let's look at the bottom example. So we have set A is 1, 3, 5, and 7. Set B is 1, 3, 6, and 10. So we want to union. So what is A and the union of B? So what we list all the numbers. So we have 1, and that's listed twice. So we're going to only list it one time. Then what's next? 3. They both have 3, but we only need to list it once. And then I need 5 and 6, then 7, and then 10. So they do go in order, and make sure you close that subset. So do not write it twice. Don't write it twice. All right, so our intersection, that's kind of the frowny face. So this is also labeled verbally as and, but it's not what we normally think. We always think and, oh, I need to list everything. No. And means what do they both have in common? What are common to both sets? What's in A and B? So what is in A and B? So what do they both have in common? So let's look at our list again, our example. So set A is our same number. Set B is the same numbers. So what do both sets have in common? So they both have 1 and they both have 3. And that's it. And that's all we list. So the intersection is what's in A and B. Now, also the third one is the complement. So the complement can either be written with an A like that, or an A with a subscript of a C. So this is what is left, what is not in common. So here we have the U, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. And then we have A, 2 and 4. So what is left? What do they not have in common? Okay, so they both have 2, so cross those out. And they both have 4. So what numbers are left? So the prime, the complement, is 6, 8, and 10.